Hello and welcome to Streamtabulous. Photo we're going to be looking at today is this one here. It has a mosaic cracking to the image, so it is in very bad condition. We're going to see what we can do with it. Now this one obviously is going to take a while, so we're going to show some of the steps and we'll have to skip forward, otherwise the video is just going to take, well, an entire day. So we'll get started with it, but before we do, don't forget to like the videos, subscribe to the channel and get the bell on. Liking the videos will help me push these videos on the YouTube algorithm, which will get it out there on Google when people are searching, so other people can learn how to do this to help others. Over on the side there, you'll see all the apps scrolling that I use. I don't use all of them. I'll only use a couple of them with a technique that I call app hopping, going back and forth between them. You can also join us at the Facebook group that's just come up down below there, where you can post questions, learn how to do photos, and also post photos like this to see if people in the group can actually restore it and what they can do to help you. So let's get to the intro and then we'll get on with the show. Okay, welcome back. Of course, preparation work with a photo is the key to get any photo successfully restored. So what we want to do with this one is we want to address those cracks, or as many of those cracks as possible. So we're just going to go to Facetune in this case. So we'll open that up quickly. Find that original photo. Open that. There we go. Now we have our photo opened up here. Now all we're going to do is we're going to go across the bottom here and we're going to click on the patch tool. We're going to click on vanish, and then we're just going to time-consumingly trace on the lines. And that's all we're going to do, is we're going to keep tracing those lines until we get a cleaner image. Of course, this is going to take a very long time, and all I want to do is work on the face. You can do this, but you're going to end up with a block and you're going to lose a lot of detail. So what we want to do is the lines, because it is pulling in the information from the left of that line that you're drawing and the right of that line, which gets rid of the line and keeps as much as the original image as possible. So obviously this image is going to need a lot of a cleanup. So you can see here, we're just going through, and it's not going to be perfect. We're going to have to color a couple of bad rips in, and we're just going to go through little bit by little bit by little bit. I'm just going to do a section here just to give you an idea roughly how we're going to end up before I skip forward. So you can see there we're going through and we're actually just cleaning it up a little bit by little bit, and compared to what it was before, we can see that that is working. When we come to areas like the nose, just remember, when we're following down, always work with those shadow lines, otherwise we'll lose them. And we don't want to lose those lines, because that is important when we're running any application which is reading the pixels. It's looking for those shadows to create the image. So we don't want to lose that. So always go with the actual shape of the face and the shadings and the contours. Okay, so we'll come through and we'll do that, and we're going to skip forward now, and we'll go to where we would be in the next step. Okay, so here we are with the cleaned up image where we've just gone through with Facetune 2 and gone over those lines with the patch tool. You can see that it's still not very clean, but that's okay. What we're trying to do is make sure that we're just keeping the shadows, the contour of the face, making it a more defined face rather than a complete mess. Now, AI tools are marketed as AI tools, I've done IT. A AI system is actually a programmed compute unit, and it is very complex. Where these, I run it offline. It's just using my phone CPU. There is no AI in it. It is just using the program and the way the program is written. These are scripts that are going through and they're looking for shadows, and they're intelligent in the way they're done. They're very smart. They know how to look for the shadows, and then they'll know how that is laid out, and it will say, okay, that is a nose, and then it will use its database. Some of them have a database of basic images, and it will go, okay, I'll composite a nose over top to clean it up, or it may just use filters and do a smoothing technique, and then a pixel duplication technique, sharpening technique, and so forth to rebuild it. So these programs, you'll see it in PaintShop Pro. Adobe Photoshop has it. They usually have it underneath what they call scripts. There are add-on programs which will run and do it and clean it up. A lot of companies now are marketing them as AI tools, and they're successful in what they do. But you know, AI is artificial intelligence. It would be able to look at it more easily and say, hey, this is a face, this is how this should look. This is not what we see in these apps. I've seen it on many cases where we come through and we can see that there's teeth here, and it won't know that there's teeth there. It can't tell that that is a mouth, and it will turn it into an eyeball. So this is why I stress that cleanup of the image is very, very important. We need to clean it up because these tools are just tools. And if we don't have a nice, clean image to work with, or an image which is easy to work out, then these tools do not work. So we've come through now, and we have done this. So what we want to do is we want to go into Mint AI and apply a base color over top of it. So open up Mint AI. We'll go down to colorize, blur the screen because it'll go into my gallery there. And then we want to find that image that we've just cleaned up. We have it there. And we're just going to apply a base color over top of it, which is just going to save us a lot of time and hassle in working it out. Now, it should be able to work out the face fairly easily because that's all we've cleaned up, and you can see those shadow lines, and here we go. So it's done a nice job of that. It's very light in color, but it was able to say, oh, hey, this must be a face, and it's applied what we need. From there, we're going to save that. And then we'll go into the program Airbrush, and we'll open up that image in Airbrush. Now that we have this open in Airbrush, we're just going to come across and we're going to make that skin tone more enhanced, which again will make these tools say, oh, there's skin there. This is where I'm meant to be working. So we come through and we'll apply that. That is fine. Now the makeup tool here is going to be important because, again, keep in mind these are scripts. They are looking for the color differences between certain aspects of the face to say, hey, this is a mouth. So we will apply a lipstick ever so lightly, but it will say, hey, this is a mouth. We'll come through again, and we're going to go into the contour tool, and we'll do something like sculptured or deep. Sculptured will work, and we'll bring that up. And we can see what it's doing, and I say it all the time, it is bringing in the shadows and making that nose stand out more. That is very important because we can actually see that, you know, it is more of a face with the way those shadows are. And these script tools will look at that. These programs that we run, apps, these are all important. So we'll come through, we'll make sure those eyebrows are defined. So we'll add an eyebrow which is similar. We'll come down to the eyes, and Without it, those eyes are a mess. The tools probably will work out that it's an eye due to the white on the side, and hey, this is a semi-round thing with, darkness to it. But if we apply a contact to it, then we'll end up getting, hey, this is a pupil, there's an iris here, and it will do a much better job of actually doing that. So once we're done there, we can save that up, and then we're just going to run that through Remy. So we'll open up Remy quickly. I do run the free version of Remy, so I've just closed off the Hey Pay for the Pro. I am not using the Pro version. Okay. I'm going to come over and put my mask on so you don't see that background gallery, since it is my private phone. So we have the image here, and we're just going to hit Enhance. I'm offline, which is why the ad isn't coming up. It is just using its script and reading through it. Okay, there we have it there. It has done a relatively good job of working it out, but it still needs a little bit of a cleanup. It's not bad though. We're getting to where we need to be. So, and we probably will run Remy a couple of times. So we'll now save that image. We're going to open that up in IBS Paint X because we want to clean up the image for the areas where it hasn't actually fixed. We'll just go forward. This is one I've done earlier. Go to Edit. Now, all I've done here is I've come through and used the smudge tool. I've done a low opacity, so it is it's more translucent, so the underlying image isn't affected too much. And then I've selected a size, and I've just come through and I've just followed the lines, like working with oil-based paint, and I have brought that image together. And that's all we're doing here. Now, I've also gone through and I've selected the brush tool. I have selected this nice little dark color here, and I have physically drawn in the teeth because it was just a white block before. Remy didn't realize they were teeth. And this is what I talk about with the preparation work, that if the details or enough information isn't there, then the script and the tool, the program, isn't going to know what to do with it. So it may turn it into a mouth if the detail's there. If the detail's there, it's just going to be a mess, and you might end up with an eyeball, like I said earlier. So we've just done our teeth. From there, we'll go back in and we'll run Remy again. After we've run Remy, see where we get. Okay. Now this is Remy run the second time after I've cleaned up the image. So the image that you've just seen in IBS Paint X with the teeth. And we can come through and we can actually see that it has done a better job of working out, okay, these are lips and these are teeth. Still not the best in the world. Some of that is just due to the way, I probably put a couple too many lines in there. But we can see that we are getting a more clear image that this is a face. So from here, we're just going to go back into IBS Paint X, and we're going to open that up. And we're going to continue doing up some cleanup work. So we'll go to my gallery. I'm going to go to the cross in the bottom there, and I'm going to open up that image, which will be import, and then we'll go into my photos. So I want to find that. Okay, and we have it open. No, I don't need that. From here, we can just do a little bit more cleanup. So we notice the ear over there. So again, bring that opacity down, get the brush to a size that you want, and follow the lines. We can bring up a little bit more. And we're just, like working with oil-based paint, you sort of push it around and move it into each other. I'm no painter. I haven't played with paints for a very long time. That up. Cleaning that up a little bit. Never going to get it perfect. turn that into one tooth, bring that down. We might use, we won't worry about that actually. I have an idea for how to address that, so we'll take a look at that. Relatively happy with that. So from there, we will save this image. The best way to fix the clothing is to replace the clothing. It'd be too much work working on it. The person didn't write what uniform this is, and I'm no expert with military uniforms, so I'm going to have to wing it for that part of it. So now we've done that, do a little bit of cheating here. We're going to go into Face App, because there's a great tool in there for the smiles. So okay, now we have our image open, and Face App, we are going to click Smile, and we're just going to put a smile on top, because it will do a composite and throw the teeth in there. Okay, now that looks way better. We're also getting cheek lines where it's pushing it out, which is giving more of an impression. It's fixing some of that jawline with the way it is doing the composite and the way it is blending it together. You can think of this as someone else's mouth and face, which is going over top, and then it is being warped into position to create this. So we'll apply that. We can come across and we can look at other features like the skin, and we can take a look at freckles, which can imply some imperfections on it and bring out more of the details to the face, which I'm going to do. And then we're going to save that one. We'll exit out. And from there, we're going to clean off some of those freckles because we don't want them all. So we're going to open up Facetune 2. A Face App logo on the bottom there, because I do use the free version. And all we're going to do is we're going to come across, and we wanted the freckles because it is applying a PNG, or it's applying a composite of the skin over top and then blending it, which works really well in turning this back into a real face, and that's what we want. That's what we're going for, okay? And we're just gonna... Faces have a lot of sun damage to it. We get a lot of marks all over our face, and you know, little specks on it to really show those features to the face. Okay, so now we have our face, and we don't have to remove a lot, just those large freckles. We're done there. We can save that. And we go into the hard part, and that's going to be trying to work out the clothing on this image. So blur that off, and we will go into Pixay Pro. Okay, so we're going to open that up. I'm going to go get a picture. We're going to find that photo, which that was Facetune 2 that I was running. So we'll open up Facetune 2. This is where it gets complex. Doing the clothing is a hard one. So I've gone on to Google and Google Images, and I've taken some images of clothing. You can transfer them to your phone, which I have done. I used Lumi to remove the backgrounds quickly and easily. It's just going to make it easier where I'm not going to be sitting there doing a lot of erasing. So and all I'm going to do now is go into Insert a Picture. I'm going to find that file, which I've called Assets. Find it. PNG images. Close. Right, the first thing I want to do is this hat. So I'm going to take a look at that. And we're going to have to mirror that hat. We'll have to work out some of the perspectives of it. Try to do our best just to, you know, replace the hat which is there. I'm not expecting the best result in the world here, but we will see where we end up. Very different to its layout, but it's the only hat we could find. So we'll just keep warping it. Find an area where we're happy. I think we'll try that maybe. Just apply that for a second. Blend it, make it more invisible so we can see that underlying. Very different looking hat, isn't it? Just that. Follow through, bring that blend up. Have to do more transforming to this hat. Be able to squish it out now. So what we're doing is we're squishing and transforming and pulling this image to try to reform it as close as we can to the hat that he was wearing, which, unless you can get an image where the hat's identical and it's sitting on someone's head in the same manner, it's a very hard thing to do. So sometimes we have to put up with, hey, this isn't going to be exactly the same. Okay with that, we'll lose some of that top part there. Through. So it's a hard one. I'm wondering if we can blend some of that existing hat into this hat and just keep that top part, since some of that bottom part isn't too bad. Look, that's what it's about. It's just, we're just playing with that image, trying to find that common ground where it's going to work for us or work the best way possible. This will mean we have to clean up a little bit more of that image. I think that's better. Okay, we may need a bit more transforming. Oh, and it crashed out. Let's hope that remembered the image. It didn't. Okay. So we'll have to go back in and recomposite that hat. So we're going to fast forward since it crashed out, and we'll catch up to where we were. Okay, so this is where I've got by blending the previous hat with this one. It'll need some IBS paint to push it out and warp it a little bit better. Now we're going to take a look at that top and see what we can do. So it's insert picture again. Couldn't really find a uniform which was the same, so I've got this one here, and we only need this top part, so we don't need the hat. We're going to do that, and then we are just going to find that shoulder line, bring it out, and enlarge it. Neckline, again. Okay. We'll apply that. We'll try just this out. Probably need a little bit of warping, I would say. I just want to find that neckline there. That background there. Find a better image. This will look a lot better, but this is just trying to give you an idea of what we're going to try to do to fix this image. Effects, transform, rotation, these neckline there. Be a bit big, so make it smaller. Probably about right. Seems to fit nicely with the underlay, so we'll have a look at that. We'll just go blend mode and we'll have a look at the underlaying one. It's about the same size, and we can bring it up. We can see that kind of works. So we're done there. No. We'll export that. Say Pro. Now, I guess we get rid of the back of this image first, and we're going to use Lumi for that one. So we'll find our photo here. Plenty of different background racing apps that are out there. I use Lumi. Okay, there we go. So you can see before and after. It's taken that background out nicely. Done. We can actually, from there, we can actually just put a background in. So we're going to go for this grey tone here, which I think will work best with the image. We'll apply that and we'll save that. Okay. Now, if we're not happy with the sculpturing of that face, in the previous video I was talking about readdressing the way the shapes of the face are. So we come through and we'll find that Lumi photo. Okay. We go to sculpture. And we can adjust aspects of the face. So if we come down to where the lips are, I think it is. Yeah. We can go for differences with the way that, there we go. We can reduce that smile down. And we can reduce the size of that mouth down a little bit, which helps bring it back to what that original photo was. Because this person might not have actually had the muscles to actually pull it up. I have a damaged one in one side of the face, car accident when I was younger. So that's how we can address that. And from there, it's more cleanup. So we'll save that image. And then it's IBS Paint X. And then obviously we're going to go through and we might even have to actually recolor that image as well. So just find that image. Okay. Because we're not sure on that clothing color, so we may have to go through and actually, you know, remove some of these little badges and that. But I'll probably end up putting this up in the group and just saying, look, you know, what uniform is it and so forth, and we'll see if we can't get more information in regards to that to fix it a bit better. So we'll come through and now we can blend this hat a little bit better. Just fix that up since we're going to be keeping that hat, parts of that hat. Okay. Let's just clean up work, and we can use this to blend, and you can see it's blending that hat nicely into the two into one. Come through there, slide there, and just move it around to follow those lines. Okay. That down, mold that hat out a bit. Might actually be better off in black and white, to be honest. If it's a nice black and white image, then we don't have to worry about the color of the uniform. We'll fix that neck up. While we're at it, we'll blend in that fabric line. Soften it up and bring it out. Wrap that in, make it look like it's back of the neck. Wrapping around. So there's always a beginning cleanup and then there is an end cleanup when we're working with our image. And that's where we're at now. We're doing the end cleanup. That is as quick as I can do for showing how to go through and actually do this sort of image where it is really, really bad. And I've said heaps of times, it is about the cleanup. The better we can get an image looking, the better these programs will work for us. And then we can just app hop and manipulate and manipulate and manipulate until we get an image where we're actually happy with from the before and after. So I'll post this one up on the group anyway, and we'll see what sort of colors this should have been. Of course, we could go through layer and we can go color. We can come down here and go to brush, and we could go black, which should give that a gray tone, and we can color over top of that. We can go through, and then we can use like the luminescence and that, and make areas of it white and try to work out what it is. But I'm going to leave that, excuse me, as this, and I'm going to post it up in the group. I'll post a black and white version in there as well. And yeah, I'll try to find out what sort of suit it's meant to be. This is more of, if you've got the right information, you can get the right clothing and composite it on. This is just showing how you can go through and manipulate things, how to clean up a photo, and what you can do with app hopping to restore a photo to the best you can. So, and hopefully this will help you guys do restoration work. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. So like, subscribe, and get the bell on. Definitely like the videos if it helps you out. Like the videos if my videos do help. And of course, join the Facebook group. There's plenty of people in there. Different methods of doing things as well, which is fantastic. Not everyone has the same technique. Some people are using PCs for PC programs. Others are using phones. List of the apps on the side as you're watching, so you can go through iOS and Android and find them. And I will see you in the next one.